were lied to. The other day before the Cleveland Cavaliers game, Nico Harrison as well as Jason Kidd held a press conference to address the media to answer all the burning questions surrounding the Luka Doncic trade. And in that press conference, we had many quotes from Nico Harrison highlighting what is his vision for this team in the short term versus the long term, why did he want Anthony Davis so bad, and why did he want to trade Luka Doncic. And in that press conference, he made it very clear. He only wanted Anthony Davis. There was no other player that he wanted to go after. And after answering just a few questions, he did leave the press conference, leaving Jason Kidd to answer the rest of the questions. And as we all know, Jason Kidd does not do well in front of the media. But with the new reports that came out earlier today show that Nico Harrison lied to us. There was another superstar that he was trying to go after before he eventually turned to Anthony Davis. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what was it that Nico Harrison said, why did he lie about only wanting Anthony Davis, and how badly did he fumble this trade. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 18,206 subscribers, getting very close to 20K, which I think we can definitely hit. But it is the NBA trade season, and if you want to be up to date on every little thing that this Dallas Mavericks team does, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But, like I said, the other day, the Dallas Mavericks, Nico Harrison and Jason Kidd, held a press conference before the Cleveland Cavaliers game to answer all the questions about the Luka Doncic trade. We found out that Nico Harrison is only worried about the short term, the next 3 to 4, maybe 5 years with the Dallas Mavericks team, to try and bring a championship to Dallas. And as far as 10 years from now, he has no idea. He assumes that him and Jason Kidd are going to be long gone. We also found out that apparently, according to what he said, Mavs GM Nico Harrison confirms he only spoke to Lakers about trading Luka and did not shop Doncic to any other teams. Harrison also stated that Luka never indicated he wanted out or would not sign an extension, which really doesn't make sense to me. If Luka never asked to be traded, if Luka never showed you any signs that he wanted to leave, why would you trade him? And of course, we've already talked about the conditioning. He was a little bit overweight. He kept getting injured. There were many reasons that they gave us why they wanted to trade Luka. But if you were worried about him leaving, and then you say that there was no indication that he wanted to leave, something doesn't add up. It does seem like Nico Harrison is getting caught in his own web of lies and is only going to catch up with him. And as we also found out, Nico Harrison stated that he wanted Anthony Davis in Dallas for almost 2 years. That's around the time that we got Kyrie Irving. So that goes to show that Nico Harrison has had it in his head for years that he wanted Luka Doncic gone. In the last video, we talked about how the front office as well as Nico Harrison were fed up with Luka. They were over him. They were tired of him only using his own personal team of experts, his own personal team of dietitians and trainers, and still not coming to work at the standard that they set for him. And although Luka Doncic is still a generational talent, putting up numbers you've never even seen before, the bottom line is, if your organization, the team that pays you, is asking you to do something, the least thing you can do is do that one thing, like stay in shape, lose weight, don't go over a certain weight threshold. We can talk about how hard that the Dallas Mavericks organization tried to force this on Luka, all that we want, but the facts still remain. The Dallas Mavericks, mainly Nico Harrison, wanted Luka Doncic gone for years, and Anthony Davis was his target. Allegedly. If we take a look right here, Lakers reportedly weren't the only team approached by Mavs about a Luka Doncic trade. Nico Harrison offered the superstar to at least one team besides the Lakers, according to a new report. There was also a report that came out earlier today that in this 3-team trade of the Dallas Mavericks, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Jazz, apparently the Jazz had no idea that Luka was going to the Los Angeles Lakers. How are you part of a trade, a 3-team trade, and you don't even know who's all involved? Maybe that is credit to Nico Harrison as a GM to get things done, but when you take a look at that, we only got 1 first-round pick for Luka, you got to take that credit right back. It shows that Nico Harrison really doesn't know what he's doing. But if the reports are true that Nico Harrison wasn't only looking at Anthony Davis, this is also going to back that up. The Dallas Mavericks contacted the Milwaukee Bucks about a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo before starting serious discussions with the Lakers about a deal involving swapping Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. Per league sources familiar with the situation, that goes to show right there that Nico Harrison is lying to us. Anything that he says, we have to take with a grain of salt. And of course, they're not always going to tell us the full truth. Heck, whenever players are injured, they tell us, oh yeah, he's trending in the right direction, or oh, he's not practicing. And then it's like the day of, we find out if they're even healthy or if they're still injured. Obviously, an organization, any NBA, any professional sports organization for that matter, will keep their cards close to their chest, and they don't really share all the details. We only really know about 10% of what happens behind the closed doors. But a blatant lie that said that Nico Harrison only wanted Anthony Davis. He wanted for 2 years. This was the guy that he wanted badly. But instead, you wanted to go out and get Giannis Antetokounmpo. And honestly, I'm not mad at the fact that he wanted Giannis. Giannis is an NBA champion like Anthony Davis, but he's also an amazing defender. He's another worldly talent, maybe not to the level of Luka Doncic, but he is a former MVP. He is still playing at a very high level. Even though the Bucks have had a rocky start to the season, they are doing a lot better now. But I do think that Nico Harrison is kind of rusty on negotiating. The fact that we traded Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. You got 1 first-round pick. Rudy Gobert went for 5 first-round picks. Whenever Oklahoma City Thunder traded Paul George to the Clippers, Oklahoma City Thunder got 5 first-round picks. Over the summer, we saw Mikal Bridges go for 5 first-round picks. Just the other day, De'Aaron Fox got traded to the Spurs for 3 first-round picks. And you're telling me that you could only get 1 first-round pick for Luka Doncic? Absolutely just fumbling the bag. But speaking of Giannis Antetokounmpo, he actually had a lot to say about Luka Doncic just the other day when he was asked about this trade. Giannis was asked about the Luka trade and said his dream is for all the European stars to go to all the big markets. He did have a lot more to say, but to summarize exactly how Giannis felt, he did say, I want Luka to Lakers. I want Jokic to Knicks. I want all the Europeans to go to the big markets. Now, if we want to put on our tinfoil hats, maybe Giannis did know about this trade. I mean, he's saying he wants all the Europeans to go to the big markets. Luka to the Lakers, Jokic to the Knicks. And as we all know, Milwaukee is no big market, but Dallas is a big market. And I don't want to put anything out there that's not true, but that kind of shows me that Giannis potentially could have known about this trade, and maybe he wanted to happen. Maybe he is getting tired of how Milwaukee's doing. Maybe he didn't want Dame Lillard, and maybe he's just unhappy and he wants to go somewhere else. And possibly he wanted to go. He wanted to come to Dallas. But the Bucks ultimately said no. But that's not the only thing that we're going to look at here. The biggest fumble from this trade, like I said, was only first-round pick, the one that we did get, but the reports show that the Luka Doncic trade would have included Dalton Knecht and more first-round picks. But Rob Pelinka was able to convince Nico Harrison that was too much due to his conditioning concerns. What an unbelievable blunder for the Mavericks. You have Luka Doncic, a player that just got you to the finals, a worldly talent, at 25 years old with a resume better than 90% of players who've ever played the game of basketball. Of course, we had a tag on Maxi Kleber. Of course, we had a tag on Markieff Morris. And yes, we're getting Anthony Davis, but you only got 1 first-round pick. I've listed all the players that were traded for multiple first-round picks that I'd argue Luka Doncic is better than. I truly don't know where Nico Harrison is going with his team. If he's thinking about win now, then yes, he's more concerned about players than picks. But that also shows he's really not thinking about the long term. And he said himself, 10 years from now, he has no idea. So yes, we could have got way more picks. We could have got Dalton Knecht. If Nico Harrison was a more competent GM, this trade probably would have been not as bad for the fans. I understand there's a lot of people that still would have been upset by it. But I think if we got even more back for Luka, if we got Giannis and multiple first-round picks, we'd be okay with it. We would have been less upset by it. Heck, if you gave me Dalton Knecht and Anthony Davis and 2 or 3 first-round picks, I'd feel like Mavs fans wouldn't be as upset. But you guys let me know in the comment section down below. Would you have wanted Giannis instead of AD? Would you have wanted more first-round picks? Would those 2 options made you feel any better about this trade? Let me know how you feel in the comment section down below, and we could have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for making this far to the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a giveaway every single month on this channel. Only way to enter our giveaways is to become a channel member of any tier. But until next time, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.